Hi guys, Fat Sammy here, and I'm with Vin Luck, a good
What's
friend of
going
mine.
on, Sammy? How you doing, buddy?
Not bad, my friend, not bad. Took us a while to get this set up. The machine gods were not in favor of us today.
Like I said, man, when we're about to do good, they're about to come at us hard. So I'm expecting plenty of hurdles. I live my life throwing hurdles off the track. We don't jump them; we just throw them off the track. So it'll be
There you
fine.
go. And the show must go on, right? So I know you guys might notice there might not be the best audio right now, but bear with us. We're going to try and improve this each week, provide better quality. So if there is any feedback, apologies. But yeah, the show must go on, and yeah, we'll try and do this regularly. We might have some different people join us every now and then.
Yep.
But I think you said, we're going to talk about some trends, some news. What other stuff do you want to talk about? Obviously, crypto being the main thing we're going to talk about.
Crypto, financial markets. We'll do some general, economic models. We'll do some geopolitical conversations. We'll talk about, life and social issues and boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, husbands, whatever you guys want to, talk about. We'll take the feedback from everybody as we move forward, and we'll just adjust and adapt along the way, and see if we can have some fun.
And I think we'll try and go live in the future. This is just kind of a test version.
Absolutely. We'll go live. We'll throw it. We'll do a full combo, multi, platform, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to start off with? What do you want to start off with then? Should we talk about how you're feeling about the current crypto market?
Obviously, it's a very double-edged sword. I have one side of the sword is very, very bullish. One side of the sword is looking at everything from a macro perspective. Remember, my entire education and background is in macroeconomics. And when I spent a lot of time, in Southeast Asia, working with people there, it was really laying out the foundation for the next decade of what's to come. And AI just came in and threw everyone for a loop, changing everything. We knew it was coming, but wow, is it coming faster than we all thought? It seems like, in reference of dog years, AI years is exponential compared to the 7-to-1 dog years, right? Like, it seems like every day there's a year's worth of knowledge. I think it was every year. Glenn Beck said every year is like 100 years is what Chat GPT said of intellectual knowledge that's gained. So, but I think it's actually that much faster than that now. We've got some huge events coming forward. The banking system is going to completely change. The way the job system is going to completely change. The job economics are changing, and I think it's going to take a lot of people by storm. I think a lot of people are sleeping and don't realize what's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen fast. Now, there's a double-edged sword to that, right? We've got some tremendous, like positive externalities that are going to happen. But those that are going to get left behind are going to get hurt. And there's I think, a strong possibility that there is this financial reset coming. It has everything to do with Trump being president, and it has everything to do with the fact that the deep state has been manipulating the banking system for our whole lives, over 100 years since the Fed started in 1913. So I think there's going to be huge opportunity. You got to be in the right place at the right time. You have to have the right assets. Got to pay attention. If you're still just sitting there and you're sending some mutual fund money, in your 401k, you're probably going to get, left behind, right? Like, how much higher can NVIDIA really go? It's going to be really interesting to see. I can tell you next year, I think, is going to be a massive, massive year, but it's also going to be a top. There is a generational chart that I'll send it to you. You can show it, but that is going to say that saying that 26 will be a substantial top in the general markets across the board. And for those that are not ready for that, and how to navigate through that, they're going to get really caught
Yeah,
in
let's break that point down. So that's an
bad
interesting
cycle.
point, right? You touched on AI, which I think we can dig into. That's one subject. Obviously, you touched into the kind of the cycle there, right? And whether this 4-year cycle is broken, where we're going into 2026. So let's break that one down. So, there's two camps right now, right? I'm sure you've all seen it. You've got one camp, I would say, who are the majority, who are kind of still, when you go on YouTube and you look at these people doing technical analysis or fundamental analysis, I would say the majority are saying, nope, we're still in a 4-year cycle. Bitcoin will top out around September, October, and then you might get another month or so of altcoin season, right? But then we're going to essentially, stop going up and go into a 6 month of bear, And I would say personally, I was kind of more along that route. And then as the months have gone by, I've become more and more convinced of this 4-year cycle being broken because of the global liquidity, right? Increase because of the delay in the tariffs, which I think we discussed the other day, right? And because of these, we're only now just starting to speculate that interest rates might come down, and we've got all this huge institutional money starting to flow in, using XRP, using ETH, the Genius Act, all these trillions of stable coins we're seeing flowing. And we can have a look at that later, actually. Some of the charts showing some of the stable coins actually flowing into Ethereum. So yeah, for those reasons, I'm kind of now thinking I'm probably 85% thinking that this 4-year cycle is going to be broken.
Well, the institutions really broke it because they are slow to the game. So because they're slow to the game, they need to catch up, and then that means they need to suppress. And that means, they're going to just draw it out, right? It's just going to draw it out. And that's what we've kind of seen until really the Bitcoin ETF got approved. And then you see, you notice the change in Bitcoin dominance. And that's when you really see, the change in the cycle happening.
Let's pull that one up as you talk. Let's pull that one up as you talk about that one. That would be an interesting visual for people.
I don't know if you can pull up the picture I just sent you. I'll have to send it in a different way if you can. Damn it. Can you see me still? Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? I can't hear you.
Well, do you know, I have my mic muted. I have my mic muted. There you go. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, very
see if you can get that picture up too. See if you can get that picture that I just sent you.
I don't know if I'd like to do that, but
we're in some interesting cycle periods, and the institutions getting on board. It seems like whenever the governments, get involved in institutions and stuff, they just can always kind of screw things up. Mm-hmm. You see it in the dominance chart changing from before, and I think there's a very big geopolitical factor that's going to come into play that I think most people really don't realize. The election cycle is going to start again in 27, and I can tell you the historic isometric projection that is going to happen. Probably the end of 26 or 27 or somewhere the system, the anti-good system, let's say, is going to try to stop the good system, right? The system that's for the people, the system that's trying to create a more of a free kind of market society. If I can just say that politically correct wise, it's look, I don't want to be so negative, but I think that there's like next year is going to be a time to take profits and to reset your life and to be very, very cautious going into the next election cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get this situation right where even if we are breaking this 4-year cycle, we're still probably going to get a lot of dumping going on from the majority of the retail market, especially that think we are still in this 4-year cycle. So yeah, I expect to sell off at some point this year, right? But then I think people might be surprised when it starts ramping up again next year.
Yeah, well, what if there's they've got to bring in a new system? XRP all of a sudden is going to replace Swift. What if it happens overnight? What if it typically governments do things very, very slowly, and it's been working for a while, right? I know I've told you this before. I've used Western Union for years, sending money to Vietnam to my wife, and what's happened, right? I went from a 3-day Fed transfer to a 30-second XRP transfer, and I was like eyes wide open. Hello, so the whole world is basically shifting to that now, and most people don't get that the anti-money laundering requirements require banks to have the same or more amount of money that they are taking in a wire transfer. So if they're going to receive $1 billion, they have to have more than $1 billion or whatever it is in that asset to take it in. And that's people don't really realize that on the XRP side of it, everyone's going to have to, these banks have to now acquire just to hold it to take in more, right? They're not buying it to send it. They're buying it because they are going to be required to hold the asset in order for them to receive that same asset as a money transmission transfer.
Right.
So that's the big reason why the network effect is going to send this to multi trillions of dollars. It's going to reflect more of the actual, global liquidity transfer system on a daily basis. And that's like 600 and something trillion dollars. So we've got major things happening in the next year. But from a macro perspective, take advantage of that.
So you're super bullish on XRP, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're, I know I'm super bullish on ETH, and I think you agree on that one. I agree with you on XRP. It's one of my holdings outside of Pulse Chain, and yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't quite know the tech behind it, but I can see momentum when I see it, right?
Sure.
And you're saying that the Bank of Japan is adopting it. Is that correct?
In November, it looks like they're going to be adopting it. There's a consortium of 30 banks, I believe it is, that's already signed up, and they're going through their process. Governments work slow, but that's going to be pretty fast.
So we had some news out the other day, right? They were in this beautiful bull flag, and I remember buying XRP back when it was 35 cents. Like, I want to say years ago. I remember it just doing nothing for years, and I kind of got frustrated. I know they had this pump over here, which was nice for them. It was a really nice move, I think. Yeah, look at that, 1,000% move, and but they kind of went flatline again for many years, right?
That's the suppression, right?
Yeah. And
lawsuit suppression.
And then the other day, obviously after this initial pump that they had, which was a lot of people missed out on, including me, a lot of us kind of came back into the market, in this area, right? And just the other day, when we saw this huge rise up, that was obviously because I think we had all the kind of laws passed, right? All those acts passed, and the timing in the market is right. But then just the other day, we saw this candle here on this weekly chart move up 10% in one day, and I think that was because the lawsuit finally being over. Is that right?
Yeah, and we knew it was kind of coming, but that was why you had that big move off that wedge and to begin with. It was just the anticipation of that. Now it's holding really strong.
It is holding really strong, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I don't know how much of a retest we're going to get. I think we've already seen the retest, frankly.
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
we're
kind of. And it looks like the numbers are putting it somewhere between like $18 and $25, but before the end of the year sometime. And they're going to front run what's going to happen. What's coming is going to be front run. The Japan situation alone. Look what South Korea just did. Right, it's completely opening up to XRP now, and South Korea is a huge financial market in the world, especially in the crypto world. So I think we've got a major systemic move coming. And when I say systemic, I'm talking about shifts in economic curves, not curves bending, shifts in full curves that are just shifting on the chart, and it's structurally changing. The banking system is structurally changing. And look, how much gold partakes in that, and precious metals and whatever else. I think gold's going to 10,000, and by the year by 2030.
Well, let's put up gold in a second. Let's give everyone your give everyone your. I know you probably don't want to be held to it, but let's have some fun here because people love this sort of stuff. What's your end of year high prediction for XRP as a guess?
100
range. Wow, $100.
So that's the most extremely bullish case.
Okay,
that's probably going to be a wick that you might want to sell or something. I mean I think
look what I have to do the chart to get to $100.
Yeah. So
Suddenly goes like a line.
But Bitcoin has done the same thing. So, but Bitcoin did it in a different way. It was more of becoming a retail thing. It was doesn't have the institutional structural adoption that's happening now. If there is a moment of adoption that is mandated, right? You're going to see the banks have to buy XRP. They have to put it on their books in order to do bank transfers, and that has to stay on their books as an asset. So they have to have,
where do you see this happening first?
Now.
Do you see this happening in Japan first, for example? Is that what you're saying?
Well, Japan's going to happen, it looks like, in the mid-November. So we're probably going to get another November pump.
Yeah. Well, probably people front running that, right?
Exactly. So, if it stays calm and there's no mandate, then, by the end of the year, I think in November, we can probably see that 20 something price tag.
$20, yeah. $20.
If we get like a melt up into the end of the year, because now the institutions have to put everything on their books going into the end of the year for their recording, then we're going to wind up with maybe another run to 50 or something like that. Pull back from there and stabilize and come back again into the high 20s, low 30s or something like that. But if we get an institutional mandate that could actually is going to install XRP as officially the transfer system. Look, we got $589 that it could go to. There's a bunch of numbers out there where it can go. At the end of the day, there are some very, very smart people, much smarter than myself, that says this is Bitcoin from 10 years ago, right? Like, this is a number that is going to see 10,000 someday, or in the tens of thousands in the future. And I'm talking maybe just years away. This has the institutional requirement adoption that Bitcoin never had. So it's completely different.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good one for your average kind of person that doesn't want to get into DeFi. XRP, not a bad shout.
Yeah. Plus, don't forget the XRP ETF is coming. Everybody's applied for it already.
Yeah.
That's going to come. It's imminent. And when that comes, it's 45 degrees straight up to the right.
Beautiful. So excited about that one for sure. You said gold. Should we have a quick look at gold?
Look, gold. I was
prices there as well, right?
I got into the gold business, into the gold consulting business in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I know a good amount about it. At the end of the day, it's becoming now a monetizable asset within the banking system, which has completely changed. It's not been like that. So with everything happening with BRICS and with everything going on with fiat currencies, which we haven't really talked about yet, because that's going to pump the markets next year big time, is the gold markets. And the sovereigns are buying gold, and it's just going to continue on. It's We see it happen in Russia, China. You can't even
Yeah,
get gold out
a
of
lot,
Russia.
a lot of this is obviously geopolitically led, right?
Yeah.
From the conflict between the growing conflict between, the economic kind of warfare between China and the West, and obviously the wars going on between Russia. So we've kind of, also the dropping of the petrodollar, right? And now the competition of these countries to probably try and accumulate gold and silver to back up their currency, right? Going back to the old ways.
Right. And gold being money is now become a flight to safety. So the dollar is not as much become a flight to safety as much as gold has been. And with what's happening with the dollar and the new stablecoin legislation, look, at the end of the day, just think about this for a second. The United States government is going to issue a digital stablecoin that's going to be backed by fiat dollar, 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take that digital stablecoin and they're going to buy treasuries. That's going to pump the price of treasuries. It's going to bring the yield down. Interest rates are going to come slamming down. Doesn't matter what the Fed does. Interest rates are coming slamming down, right? That means what? That means the housing prices are going to come down. We're going to get a good opportunity to buy houses. That's completely different market. But they're buying treasuries with that money, and that money that they're using from the treasury purchases is going into infrastructure in the United States. It's a massive amount of money that's coming next year, and that's not even including the tariff money.
And job growth as well, right?
Yeah, and that's not. And plus, you have the tariff money. Plus, you have the infrastructure investment money from the likes of SoftBank and Apple and everyone else in the world that's bringing Saudi Arabia and everyone that's bringing trillions of dollars into the United States. So that is going to pump the markets next year. We're going to see an astronomical pump. I'm telling you, don't click the sell button next year. You have to dollar cost yourself out next year because it's going to go higher than you think.
Yeah. So yeah, gold. I know some friends in there who are actual gold dealers. They used to be diamond dealers, but they got sick and tired of the all these kind of manufactured diamonds coming in, kind of destroying their market, and now they're in gold, and they're all super bullish on gold still. Obviously, looks like we're in a bull flag here, right? So you can see how people are thinking, right, we're overbought. But I think people have to also count in how long this price was suppressed by paper gold as well.
That's right. It's been suppressed for a long time. So everything you're seeing now, don't think of what people really look at when they look at charts is they think of like the stock market with equities and a PE ratio, things like that. It's not the same. Neither is crypto. And
let's quickly move to silver. I can't remember the ticker now. Was it AUX or something like that?
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking at.
Let's see if it comes up for type silver. Yeah, here we are. And now a lot of people like to speculate on this one, so I think this one's got a lot. This one's been even more suppressed, right? But a lot of people kind of who want higher gains are looking at silver. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, silver's been suppressed for so long because of the industrial use, and if they didn't, we would have had a lot of more inflation over the years. Now I think with everything going on, I think you're going to see a relaxing of that a little bit, and more of a revert back to the natural ratio of gold to silver. And you're going to see a pretty substantial run up towards, I don't know, the high 60s, 70s, somewhere around there, over the next, couple of years. A lot of that will depend on how the industrial suppression continues. Right. That's really what that's going to do. And that's going to be part of the currency basket that's being used for BRICS, right? Because they're all backing, that's why you're seeing a lot of this go now, right? They're backing the currency.
We've seen a lot of tariffs now put on some of this action from Trump, right? He's been threatened by this.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We're going to keep it short, I guess, on this one, because I was thinking there's so much we can go through, right? But we can kind of break this up. But do you want to touch? Should we go into ETH next, or what do you want to do next?
ETH is going higher. Let's go. I think, one of the things we're going to do, I think every show that we're going to put on is we're going to attack the top 5 trends of the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to use Grok to do it. I think it'll be interesting to see difference between Grok and ChatGPT in the top 5 trends of the day.
Yep.
So let's go through for August 10th, 2025, the top 5 trends, and just take a minute or two and talk about it. And maybe there's a conspiracy behind it. Maybe there's things that seem like BS or not, or maybe it's worth a longer discussion. Does that sound cool?
That sounds really cool. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll load that up for next time, and we'll have
Yeah.
a look at that for sure.
So right now, I just pulled it up, right? So real quick, the number one situation is the escalating conflict in Sudan and the humanitarian crisis.
Interesting.
Which is, and that's been going on for quite some time. It seems like it's getting worse.
Did you use Grok there for that, or? Yeah. Okay. So I've just done it here on a Grok, and it's giving me a different answer, which is hilarious.
Okay. So I said, give me the top 5 most trending topics in the news today.
That's what I did, yeah.
And what's your number 1?
It's similar. It's the geopolitical tensions, Israel-Gaza, and it's telling me...
That's number 2.
US-China relations, the tariffs, obviously.
Okay.
And the war in Ukraine. Yeah. And then the possible negotiations with Trump and Putin.
Right. Ukraine is not even in this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it gives different results sometimes. That is a funny thing about AI.
And
number 2, I've got climate change here and extreme weather.
Climate change, number 3, yeah.
We should call that climate scam, or others call it weather.
We both agree with that. It's a power play.
It's a way of washing money.
It honestly is. And listen, is there climate change? Yes, there is climate change. The Earth goes through ebbs and flows of hot and cold and hot and cold. Here's the scary thing, and this is why I think people need to realize: we have a greater chance of the world cooling than we do the world heating. And they're not going to tell you that, but that's the truth. So
100%.
That's an issue, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get the 10-year weather cycles first of all. I read some of. I'm not an expert in this field, but I did read some of. There's a weather astrophysicist and a weather guy called Piers Corbyn, brother of Jeremy Corbyn, and he did some really interesting work. He's got a debating journal on it, and I'm starting to get feedback actually.
Right.
I'm getting feedback on your end.
You can. So you can go. We're entering into like a solar minor phase, and it's going to be a very interesting situation from a climate perspective. But I think that they've been, screaming about it for a long time because they knew that there's change going on, and they just, the politics of it is awful. Like they just every crisis, they, what do they say? Don't let a crisis go to waste, right?
Well, yeah, it's like the burning down of Hawaii and LA, and then now look at them. They're becoming Hawaii's becoming one of the smart islands in the world. I think Bali's another one, right? And then they're also doing they're rebuilding all that part of LA that was burnt down, and creating a smart network there. So it's very interesting, isn't it?
Where do you have advancements in artificial intelligence on the list? Is it there at all?
Oh, number 3, yeah. So it says the rapid rise of AI with innovations like AI agents, AI-ready data is reshaping industries. Reports highlight over 10,000 job cuts in 2025. So that's pretty in the next few months. I'm not sure if that's globally.
So I'm getting AI developments, major focuses on innovations like self-driving cars in Europe, and news anchors in Asia, and new tools like cloud and skill or AI are gaining attention, and where discussions of ethics and privacy and job impacts are trending globally. That's going to be a big deal. This is something that we're going to be focusing on a lot. We're building a platform that is going to be AI created. There's going to be 2 sides of it. That's going to be more of, tech, make a ton of money, have a lot of fun doing it. But at the same time, there's going to be a side of it that's going to be a AI revolutionary based AI protective, let's say, ecosystem that's going to attempt to fight fire with fire, sword with sword. Right.
We spoke about this the other day, right? How lots of people are kind of fearful of this AI, but we were saying it's that every technology can be used for good and bad, right? And
Right.
if it is being used for bad, then all the more reason for the good people to utilize it. I always give the example of the native Indians.
Sure.
You know, when the United States was pushing west, and you know, they could have said, "Oh, we're not using gunpowder because it's being used to kill our people." Well,
Right.
no, it's not the way to do it. You have to adapt and use your enemy's weapons against them.
You do, and there's been a lot of that going on very recently with some of these chats that have been happening about the Antichrist and about the coming of Jesus, and what the responses have been from ChatGPT and how that's all been playing out. I did that same a question and answer session in Grok, and it was a little different. I think Grok is being protective of that information. It gave me some apples at the right time, and it did say that you know, when I asked if the Antichrist is here, it did say yes. And we can go into that another time as to what I believe, where the Antichrist is and stuff. But I think that's real, and I think the Antichrist is using AI to enslave humanity. So we're going to do what we can do to create. We're gonna keep it close to our chest, and those that are with us will be with us. But there's going to be a tremendous opportunity for us to, I'll say, protect and defend human sovereignty, and we're going to use AI to do it, just like the Antichrist is using AI to enslave humanity. So we'll do the best we can. We're only human.
Yeah.
We'll make mistakes along the way. We'll try to have some fun doing it and not make it so serious, but it's going to be pretty serious.
It's going to be fun following the new developments in the US. They're moving pretty fast with it, aren't they, as well? So we'll check in that. Number 4, I've got global health and humanitarian crisis. Right? What have you
Just
got?
in general?
It says new pandemic and health crisis such as cholera outbreaks. There's always been cholera around, right, from bad water.
Yeah, there's always seems to be something around the corner that's about to just completely destroy the world, right? Like regarding a virus or something. I mean,
but they wouldn't really want to try and push cholera on the West because they'd have to contaminate the water, which is too much work for them. Cholera actually exists, for example. It's much easier for them to
it's real.
go for
Ebola is real, but you know, it's not going to come. I think there's a definite chance that they will try to create another pandemic of some kind. We just got to be really super careful and look. Everyone should know their surroundings. Everyone should have, you know, backup food and filters, water filters, and food supply in their home, and should be a little bit of a scout. And you know, I'm not saying go crazy prepper, but be prepared.
On that point, I was in. Actually, I remember speaking to you. Actually, we were talking about. We had a few meetings on the phone when I was in Italy. I can't remember when it was. A few months back, and I don't know if you remember when I was out there. There was that big crisis in Spain where they had loads of their electricity board go down.
Yep.
Affected almost the whole country. And hearing some of the stories from people there, they said one of the funny things they didn't consider is some people, you know, they like to keep a little bit of cash in a drawer, you know, and cash is going to work for you fine in a situation like that if you're all prepared and you need to go to the shop and get some water, and you know the power comes back on in a few days, otherwise your cash is going to be useless. But in those few days that they were going down to the shops, the card machines weren't working right straight away. So that's interesting. So the only people that could exchange things were people that had something you wanted, or they had cash. The shops were still taking cash, but they couldn't open the tills to give you change. So they were saying one thing they learned from it is carry small notes,
small bills.
Yeah, small bills.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have probably $5,000 in ones and fives in my house.
Nice. Yeah. And the best thing you can do in a situation like that is, as you say, have enough water, have enough food, have enough batteries just to lock yourself down. And another thing, you know, be able to board up your windows as well. That's another big thing, right?
You know, we just don't know what's going to happen next. You know, I really believe that last one was meant as a test. So they've, you know, adjusted and adapted and figured out how they're going to do it next. Will the next one just be a cyber attack? Don't know. Make sure your crypto's in a cold wallet and you've got your seeds stored, you know, your phrases stored, and you know, they're in lock boxes and fireproof and all that stuff. You know, be like vigilant about it. But you know, look, we always prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? I mean, that's all that we can do with that.
100%. But it's funny how people prepare so much financially, but they don't prepare like sometimes in the real world, you know.
Yeah. Hey, listen, there's an actual chance that we can wake up in one morning, and the entire system has changed, and it'll be a 3-day blackout, or 3 to 10 days, and the new reset has happened. Your mortgage is paid off. There's a Nasara Jasara event that has occurred, and everything now is different, and the world is different. So there's actually every day that probability actually rises as it doesn't occur. So there's real possibility that something like that is coming.
A reallocation of debt, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which they have to do. I guess.
Do you have space exploration at all in your top 5?
Number 5? No, I don't. I've got U.S. domestic incidents and policy. So I don't really.
So I've got a Space Race 2.0, capture public interest with NASA and China space agencies orbiting the moon, private companies like SpaceX testing Mars-bound rockets, and a Japanese firm launching a test space hotel, and a meteorite older than the Earth hits a Georgia home that has sparked fascination.
That's interesting.
That's wild. There's a big push right now to build a nuclear facility on the moon.
Why is that?
The moon is going to be used as a launching point, as a space station.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people talk about these. They said we're almost like, trying to stop these meteorites is almost like a blind person with a stick.
Yeah, you can't.
Someone's throwing rocks at you. So apparently, we only see about 1% of them actually coming towards us. And
speaking of meteorites, about the one coming in November, apparently, right? So
yeah,
that's not here in the top 5, but in the last week or so, it's been in the news that there is a anomaly that is on its way here that does not have a comet tail. It is not a comet because it doesn't have the tail spewing off the back, and it's coming from out of our solar system, which all comets, I guess, remain in our solar system. And it's supposed to be here sometime at the end of November, which makes sense because if we get a November pump, the markets climb a wall of worry. With everything else happening, it'll probably pass right by. There's a chance you might even see it in the sky. We don't know, but apparently it's really there.
Wow.
See what happens. Stuff, Keep your faith, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's quickly. I want to finish because we covered XRP. We spoke about this. Bitcoin's breaking out, by the way. It was breaking out. Let's go have a quick look at that before we close it up because we are crypto focused. Let me quickly see if I can. So it'll be interesting to see if this one is a genuine one. We'll see you next week. Share screen. Let's go to this. Let's take a quick look because Bitcoin has been making moves on a Sunday. So I've got it here. Looks like it's trying to break out of this bull flag. Obviously, got resistance above you, right? I mean, so let's see what happens. Obviously, you're going to get a CME gap when the market opens on Monday if this does stay up.
Yep.
So maybe we'll see something like, the gap's filled and then we move back up. That'll be good structurally, I think. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, we could just hold a gap and just go, man. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we hold the gap and go because it'll give us a reason to have to fill it later in the year when it, after it runs to 200,000 or whatever, and it's got to come back down and all that. Like there's a gap there that'll scare everybody. So we'll forget about it for now, and then it'll just take off. I mean, this is a big move, right? 2,000 points.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we came up and touched. It looks like on my chart here. So I know I saw someone on Twitter saying we touched 120K, but on my chart here it says, and this is the Coinbase Bitcoin chart, and this is saying 1,119 and $122. So we'll see, but I mean, it'd be nice to see a strong weekly close here. Ethereum's cooling off, but still, I mean, look at that.
Ethereum's got 10,000 written all over it.
It has, right?
I posted on X the other day. If we see the same percentage move off the highs that it made last time, we got 10,000. But if you look at the back end, the top back end channel, it's putting it to 20,000. So, is there a chance that it can get up there? Listen, I think we've got an adoption situation going on that we've not had in the past. And I think that with XRP happening and the building that's going to be going on on Ethereum, because like, thank God they're actually building the EVM sidechain for XRP. So smart contracts will come to XRP, but that's going to be a little bit slower of a adoption cycle compared to the money transference system that XRP is meant to be. The financial system itself will continue to build on Ethereum as its main layer one to build financial platforms and fintech and all of that, even if they're using XRP as their own money transfer system. So I think we're going to see that play out, and it's going to play out in a very big way. And there's a very strong possibility that when we get the rotation in the cycles that happen, where Bitcoin kind of tops off, and then you see the Bitcoin dominance really, really start to, is already dropped, but has now gone in a 45-degree angle sideways down like it would, then I think you're going to see Ethereum take off and make a run for the high teens. So at the end of the day, you're selling that. I wouldn't be holding past that.
We've only got this high, right, which is at what, 4,800, and I think we're going to aggressively push through this. I wanted to show you this one actually. Where is it? This is a really interesting site. It's called the Strategic ETH Reserve.xyz. You can see all the accumulation there. But where is it? I think someone posted this. Let's take a look at this one. So you've got the kind of a lot of these. This is Leo Lanza, and he's one of the people that wrote this paper called ETH is Digital Oil. Oh, you can't see my screen. Let me see if I can show it for you. 1 second. Stop screen. I don't know why it doesn't change it automatically. I think I've got to share it each time. Here we are. X. No, that's the Grok. No. No, that's not it. Here we are. Here we are. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, this is quite interesting. So I've seen a lot of this now. So they're trying to describe to retail, because obviously people have the understanding of Bitcoin being digital gold. And I think the narrative they're pushing for ETH, so it's more easily understandable for retail. And even Wall Street, who don't understand crypto, is they're pushing this idea that Ethereum is the oil. And they do some comparisons here. So they're saying the primary role of oil in the industrial economy. So they're saying ETH is a settlement layer and collateral backbone for the digital economy. Economic dependency, so it fuels the digital economy the same way that real fuel fuels the industrial economy. Monetary characteristics, commodity and decreasing supply, which is interesting, right? Because it looks like now I know their inflation was going a bit out of control before, and it looks like they've kind of reined that in now, right?
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. I haven't thought about what XRP would be in that, because I think XRP is going to be the backbone of the entire financial system moving forward. You can't really, it's not going to replace the dollar per se, but it's going to be the remittance vehicle for the dollar. So, and I wouldn't call it a diamond, because diamonds are manipulated and held by De Beers, and there's a lot of fake diamonds out there. So that supply and demand issue is completely manufactured. So that's just completely out of the, diamonds are meme coins in my opinion. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. I think that there's a lot to be said for what's about to happen in the system itself, and with Ethereum and how XRP is playing into it. And I think you got to be really, really careful with Bitcoin here. I would not be a holder of Bitcoin past this cycle.
Oh no. I think it's much better to. I think as Tom Lee said, the guy leading Bitmine, who are currently accumulating Ethereum at 12 times the speed that Michael Saylor's Maker Group were accumulating Bitcoin. There's another company, another one of these growth, what are they called, strategic reserve groups, right? And they've now signed off another $5 billion budget. So some of these budgets, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to try and sell them to the US government in the future.
I'm sure. And XRP will be in, a major strategic reserve in the United States. It's going to be probably one of the largest assets held in the entire country. It is going to be much bigger than Bitcoin.
So don't sell your ETH, don't sell your XRP, guys.
That's it, right there.
And next time I think we'll dive into Pulse Chain as well.
Oh, absolutely. Pulse Chain is a chain of freedom. It's I think going to be probably one of the big, if not the biggest layer one to take off. When it does finally take off, it's going to have I think a substantial run. What we're building on a lot of our platforms, what I'm building on AI right now, is going to be focused on Pulse Chain, and what we're going to build on the faith-based side there's going to be something that's very specifically going to be on Pulse Chain because of its intent of freedom of speech and freedom of assembly, and the dismantling of humanity outside of the matrix to remove us from the matrix, and that's what Pulse Chain's all about. And I think that's going to come to light.
You've got a lot of people in Pulse Chain since I've been in there who are very like-minded in terms of their thinking. A lot of libertarian kind of thought there, a lot of open-mindedness, a lot of kind of rebellion there. So I think it's a very interesting space, and some of the independent development from people that weren't even developers until recently is quite astounding. And it looks
I'm glad it's taken a while, though. I think the timing is going to be good for what we're doing. The timing is going to be great. I think when it finally everything takes off, the platforms that when I finally get everything kind of finalized and start to launch, we'll keep what we've got to keep inside of our community. And there's going to be some claiming to do for the loyal people that have been there, and it'll be the right time for it. I think it's going to be exciting. I really do.
And so just a quick update. Hex has finally woken up with up 111% for the month, the last 30 days. PLS up nearly 64%. Looks like PLSX up 70%, and Inc up. So what we'll do is we'll track that every 7 days, every week. But Hex having a little bit of a pullback this week. Well, I say pullback. It means it's only gone up 3%. But it was up very aggressive. I was surprised it didn't pump yesterday when ETH went up, but it looks like it was taking a little break there. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think we've got a really exciting week coming up. Whether we pull back or whether we go up, I'm still going to be excited. So I think the timing right now is Ethereum season, and I think XRP is going to explode. I think all those top alts are going to explode, really. And exciting time to be in Pulse Chain for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
You're basically a leverage. You're basically a leverage on ETH. Is what you are. With
Pretty
Pulse
much.
Chain. All right, man. So I think that we'll leave it there. As I say, we'll try and have better audio quality next time, and we'll have some everything kind of a bit more oiled, so a smoother ride, and maybe an intro video or something. But it's been good having you, Vin.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. We're gonna make it happen. We got a lot going on. Everyone just keep supporting each other. Let's stay positive. We've got some golden age in front of us. So it's
100%.
It's all coming.
Yeah. Stay bullish.
Right, we'll talk to you later. We'll be doing this hopefully once a week, and we'll see how it goes. We'll get it we'll get these videos all put out on the different platforms and stuff. And
we'll probably live stream as well on X and YouTube rather than pre-recorded.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. All right, guys. Take care.
All right, Sam. See you later, man. See you later.
Bye-bye.